Hello, my name is Prabhjot Singh, and now I'm going to talk about the simple random sampling methodology used in this study. The goal was here to ensure a free and unbiased representation of the property for analysis. To achieve this goal, we began with the predefined student ID that was 20240024, which served as a reference point. Starting from row 24 and column 0 of a random number table, we followed a systematic approach, that is, three-digit numbers were selected within the range of 001 to 500, aligning with the total property population. To maintain the integrity of the data, we excluded duplicates, ensuring all the property IDs were unique. Through this process, we successfully complicated a random sample of 50 unique property IDs, which formed the basis for our analysis. To sum up, this method eliminates selection bias, making our results more representative and reliable for statistical interference. Moving on to the task 2, this slide focuses on the distribution of the properties by the number of stories, providing valuable insights into housing trends and preferences. The textual information highlights that one-story properties dominate, accounting for 56% of the sample, or 28 properties. The two-story properties make up 30% of the distribution, with 15 properties. Three-story properties are less common, comprising 14%, or just 7 properties. The bar chart titled Frequency of Number of Stories visually reinforces this dominance. You will notice here the blue bar represents the actual frequency of the properties of each story count, and the orange bar complements this, reflecting the number of stories themselves. Now let's move to the task 2.2. Here we can analyze property type distribution. This slide uses a pie chart to illustrate the frequencies of three main property types, that is, detached houses, apartments, and townhouses. Starting with the data, detached houses emerges as the largest category, comprising of 42% of the total sample, which equates to around 21 properties, and apartments follows that, making up 32% or 16 properties, and the least value here is townhouses, that is 26% or 13 properties. The pie chart visually communicates these proportions. Each segment is distinctly color coded, with detached houses occupying the largest share, emphasizing their dominance. This predominance of detached houses reflects suburban demand, where buyers often prefer large homes accommodating growing families and outdoor spaces. Conversely, the demand for apartments signals the urban demand towards compact and effectively living for singles or smaller households.
Hello guys, my name is Puneet Janjua. Here I am going to talk about the slide variable classification. So first we have discrete variables. These are variables that take on a countable number of distinct values. An example shown here is the number of stories in the building. It can be 1 to 3 and so on. You cannot have 2.5 stories, for instance. Second, we have continuous variables. These are variables that can take on an average infinite number of values within a given range. Example include price of the property, which can be vary continuously between say 2 lakh 50,000 to 1.5 million dollars. Total interior space measured in square feet, which can be range from 800 square feet to 5,500 square feet. In this slide, we are going to analyze the year-wheel distribution of properties. Start with the histogram. We observe that the data is less skewed, meaning most properties were built between 2000 and 2010. That's where we see that the peak in frequency. Key statistics include around 60% of the properties were built after the year 2000, showing a recent trend. The oldest property dates back to 1950, while the newest one is from 2020. From these insights, the implication is the modern infrastructure dominates the data set. Most properties are relatively new, which can impact factors like maintenance cost, energy efficiency, and market value. Overall, the distribution clearly highlights a preference towards newer construction. In this slide, we are going to examining the total interior space distribution. Looking at the histogram, we can see that the distribution is right skewed. This means that the most of homes have less than 2000 square feet of interior space. We also notice that the presence of some outliers, particularly luxurious properties with much larger spaces, like those around 5,500 square feet. The key insights here is that the market tends to prioritize practically over the size. Most buyers are opting for reasonably sized homes rather than extremely large ones, likely due to affordability, maintenance, and lifestyle presence. Overall, the data highlights a market that favors efficient living space rather than oversized luxury properties.
Hi, my name is KISHAN and I'll be presenting slides number 8, 9 and 10. So in this section we constructed confidence intervals for the key variables for year built. The 95% confidence interval show the average construction year lies between approximately 1987 and 1993. For total interior space, the confidence interval indicated that the average home size ranges between 1700 and 1900 square feet. This gives us a reliable range to understand the typical property age and size within our dataset, accounting for sample variability. Moving on to the hypothesis testing, we tested the claim that the average year built equals 1995. Using a t-test, we found the t-values was minus 2.36 with a p-value less than 0.05. This led us to reject the null hypothesis, meaning the average year built is statistically different from 1995. In fact, it is closer to 1990. This reinforced the trend that the properties are slightly older than initially assumed. Finally, our conclusions and recommendations. The trends show that newer, smaller homes dominate the current market. Based on these findings, we recommend investing in energy efficient single story designs to meet affordability demand. Additionally, suburban and detached house are a strong target segment and which suggest keeping an eye on luxury property outliers for potential niche investment. Overall, data driven strategies will align better with the market dynamics and improve investment success.
Hello, my name is Mohit Jivani and I'll be talking about task 9 and 10. For task 9, hypothesis testing, we tested if the average year built differs from 1995 with a t statistic of minus 2.36 exceeding the critical of plus minus 2.01. We reject the null hypothesis. The true mean is closer to 1990, indicating rapid development in the 1990s to 2000s. This has implications for urban planners. Older neighborhoods may need revitalization, while newer areas require infrastructure support. In conclusion, the market favors newer compact homes. Developers should target urban areas with energy efficient apartments and suburbs with detached houses. While luxury properties offer higher returns, their niche appeal demands cautious investment. Policymakers can use these insights to address housing affordability and urban sprawl. Thank you for your attention. Let's open the floor to questions. Thank you.